What's good, people? It's your boy, Icarus Gray. And this is Gray Area Anime. And we are back with another one for you lovely people. I figured I could try and go back to the fade out. It's kind of effective, and maybe I'll remember to. Oh, I remembered to stop the music before I brought the sounds back up. So today is another Teach Me Senpai Ascension of a Bookworm. Break it down. And I have blah blah blah. And I, as always, have two people with me in the building. Executive producer, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. It's Prima Diva.
And the other person in the room, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
It's Bible Study Girl.
Or as you may all know her now, I a big girl.
I a big girl. I
Yes.
am growing up.
We're doing something different because we were a little bit impatient and we watched a lot of episodes.
Not a lot.
We watched a lot of episodes.
We did yesterday.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
So instead of like trickling it out and having to wait to talk about it, we're going to do a double episode. So we're doing episode 7 and 8.
Chapter 7 and 8.
Chapter 7 and 8.
Senpai.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the student surpasses the teacher.
It's only because it's in my notes.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But still, it's because
Literally
you
it.
take great notes.
If I didn't take notes, I'd be like, I don't know.
Because I think these two episodes are intricately laced together.
They are.
And I didn't want to stop after 7 and be like, yeah.
I didn't either. I'm like, what happened?
So the last time we left off, we were introduced to dun dun dun.
Hey, listen.
The Devouring.
Oh, yeah. That is the end.
That is what happened.
We say that Benno says she may have the devouring.
And if
Dun,
she
dun,
does,
dun.
She'll be dead soon.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
It is.
It's a shame.
Very, very sad.
So, we start this episode with lunch, right?
Right. They get invited to lunch with Benno after she's recovered from her 5-day fever.
Oh yeah, she did
Yeah.
get home and she was
Yeah.
bedridden, and
That whole thing.
Yep.
it's like a thing. It's so weird. If she goes too hard, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Correct.
And everyone
So-
knows this.
Except for her. Well, she knows, but she doesn't.
Think about that. She's an excited
She really
little
just
person.
doesn't kind of get like what causes the 5 days, 3 days, 2 days. She doesn't know it's kind of tied to, I guess, how excited she gets or something.
I think so.
Yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
an emotional thing.
It's an emotional.
So they go to lunch. They're there with Benno. And do they have the negotiations first, and then he
No.
fusses
No,
no,
first?
he's like
No.
glaring at her.
He is the
He's
And
like-
she's
she was
entire
like,
lunch.
what is going on? Like, is he mad at me? Like, did I do something to this man? Like,
Hey, yo. Oh. Also, something I think we failed to mention or happened in this episode, you realize that Benno is Otto's brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
you realize that in the beginning, yeah, because he tells them, hey, we're going to my house.
And then she goes,
What? Oh, that's your brother.
that's how he was able to do this.
And she
Yeah.
also has to talk with Lutz about let's not be so naive.
Yeah, don't let them trick us this time.
Don't let them trick us
Like,
because they didn't let us know that they were related. So,
Yeah.
like on the way
like,
to lunch,
be on your
Yeah.
toes.
Yeah.
she
Yes.
wanted him to be spot on.
Like, because this is not a game. They are not
Just-
playing with us. They are trying to take advantage of us. We're not to be taken advantage of.
Right.
So when she gets to the lunch and dude is glaring at her,
Like, I don't know what's going on. And he goes, why didn't you just ask me for materials? Why did you get materials from Otto
in exchange for that
in exchange
stuff.
for that,
That stuff you gave him for the hair, the
hair?
oils.
Yeah. And he was like, in her brain, she's not realizing a couple things to me. how important that oil stuff is and how much it can
Marketable.
sell.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, to me, in her brain, I think I might have tried to do that to get money for
And
everything
she
that I
is
need to
laser
get money for.
focused on
Yeah.
that book.
So,
And we also see though in this episode when they get to the upper side of town, how upscale the merchants are there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just have
Yep.
merchandise laying out everywhere. It's
Or
very
a stall.
right.
they're very
Yeah.
COVID set up in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're like, you got to wait for this person to come in. You got to have appointments and stuff set
It's
up.
very
And everybody
elite.
kind of takes care of everything.
And I think that
cleans
helped
up.
her realize just how much
Mm-hmm.
value that she had.
Yeah.
If you're having lunch with me and this is how you run business,
Because I think their company or their store was underneath
The
their
house,
apartment building.
yeah.
So like, they have the high rise that's right above the actual store that they're running, and
To
so
which
she's
Prima
looking
Diva
at how
said, she was
they're.
like, these houses are huge.
I was like, "This got to be
it
an
should
apartment."
be more like, and I was like,
It is.
yes. I was like,
I was
what?
like, okay, cool. That didn't make no sense. I'm like, you don't need 15 floors, yo. Like, you don't.
What
You
is
don't
going
need
on
that.
here?
But yeah, so that part was cool that she's looking
Like,
at the way that they are treating their customers and and how they
Yeah.
run their business.
And so he goes into saying, like, you could have just asked me. I'm wanting you both to be my apprentices. I can get you the tools and things that you need, because basically in business, you have to get somebody to invest capital in your business, period.
Anyway, yeah.
Right.
Anyway, and she was like, well, he's like, that's what I'm trying to do for you guys. So all you need to do is fill out these order forms and this, that, and the third, and I'll be able to get you the stuff.
Mhm.
right.
That's when they start to go into the negotiation.
They go into negotiation.
I wish
Yeah.
the contract is the next one, because is it not after they finish?
It's after they finish this, but they have to go into
Or
negotiation.
after that? I thought it was
Yeah,
after.
they
It's
get
not
the
after they
negotiate-
finish the paper.
No, they do the
It-
negotiation.
Okay, it's
It's
before he has
ours.
the product. Okay, I want to make sure. Okay,
In my notes.
okay. um.
One.
So now they go into negotiations.
And let us remember to frame this. She's 6 years old. Lutz is 6 years old.
And she's in the Shark Tank, y'all.
And she is in the Shark Tank. So
Yes.
the title of
real
this
Shark Tank.
the title of this chapter is Seeds of Suspicion. And this is the first time you see Lutz like
There's something
Like,
strange
he
about
straight
like I'm a
side-eyed her.
kid. I don't
are you
understand how you're
talking
not like a
about?
kid.
right.
So-
So they are talking real business. She's
They start going into breaking the business down, and he's like, okay, here's what I'll do. I will get you everything in the world that you need to make this paper
Mm-hmm.
if you let me buy the recipe for the oil stuff from you.
Yeah.
This one, she's like, so that's what this was about.
right.
Okay. And does he present her with the because she
No.
counter
No,
offers?
no.
No.
'Cause she
Contract is
can't-
contract
It is
is
nowhere
on.
near
They
this.
Okay,
they
because she counter offers to because initially with the way he had it set up, it was going to be like, okay, and then distribution of the paper will go through my company, and something else he was trying to do. To which she counter offered, she was like, no, well, actually, what I would like to do is the rights to the paper are mine, and the only person that can sell the paper is Lutz
and myself.
and myself.
Yeah.
obviously.
He praised her for like not accepting like a short term big payout, and instead of like doing that, saying don't give me none of that royalty crap you talking about, I don't want no royalties.
Right.
Send that to some like my benefits package or something like that. Like she negotiated
Yeah.
the way to be able to continue to get profit.
That's
from
what it
their
was, because he
thing
offered
instead of-
royalties on
Yeah,
the
and she was
paper
like, "Don't give me
and
that.
else.
I'm not no fool."
The only thing I don't like is that he was able to set the price of the paper and profit.
Exactly, but
I
we didn't.
didn't-
We
yeah.
didn't really hear that until they were about to sign, and then not only
Correct.
that, she was like, when he was like, "So what are we gonna do about this? The shampoo that you call, this thing you call it?" And she was like, "Oh well, I'll just sell that to you. That's
Yeah.
fine.
She
I
was
just want
fine.
this
Yeah,
paper."
she was quick. Like
know.
she did not at all realize how important it was, because she's so laser focused on paper, on books.
She's focused on
like,
making her
and I'm like,
dreams
no,
happen.
dude, like you have way more power. Like he really just want, like he knows for a fact the oil is selling.
Right.
Oh yeah, and it's a right
Like,
now product. I can make that
It's a
today.
Right now.
It's changing the kingdom,
Forever.
period. And it's changing nobles specifically.
Forever.
Like
Oh, yes.
the
Because
price
he
of
can
that.
really.
He's a noble, by the way. It's not
Yeah.
quite. Well, it's apparent from where
No,
they
it's
live.
definitely apparent. Even from his dress, you could tell his dress compared to their
Everybody
dress.
else's, yeah.
You can
But I
tell
mean,
his
I think
money.
that also is a testimony to the fact that she is like, that's where you see that she's 6. Is that when you want something when you're a child, that is all you could think about. You don't think about nothing else. You're not thinking about the consequences
And that's the
of
thing
anything
where you can
else.
tell that the
know.
old memories and stuff are like still
Starting.
melded
Yeah.
in that way. Because when in the first episode, you can kind of see that she knows who Turi is, who her mom is, who her dad is. She instantly knows this is my mom, this is my dad, that's Lutz. Like she knew who everyone was.
Right.
And I think that that's like a thing of when she still acts like a kid, that's what's pushing through
Yeah.
to me. So they're having this
Now
whole
is-
conversation. Oh, wait, go
They've
ahead.
decided
Yeah.
magic contract time. And when he says the word magic, she
She's like,
lights up.
Y'all have magic in
First
this
of
world?
all, this is the second time she's been like, this is like a fantasy world. This is amazing. And she is not getting it, man. It
And then
is a
he
fantasy
instantly
world.
goes, yes, but only nobles have magic.
You peasants
Dang,
can't have it.
no.
The only time a contract comes out though is when something is valuable.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Like
Truly.
a magic
Yes.
contract, it has to be really valuable
Because it is binding.
because the ink is
The ink
Blue.
is magic. The ink is blue and it
And-
turns black upon
When you put your blood, on it.
yeah.
And it's
And
like
it's
you
a-
cannot break this,
It's like a
this
DNA
contract.
bound kind of contract.
Yeah.
Unless
It
both
reminds
people
me
agree.
of contracts in ReZero.
I knew you were gonna say that. Because you can't break them either. Like you
Like
really,
it's
like, you
literally
cannot-
something like promises
it will
are
kill
contracts.
You. It will kill you.
Like
if
if
you
I
break
say I promise to protect you, and it's like okay,
And then if you
So
fail,
if you get married and you say I vow. to
Oh,
be
that's your butt.
faithful
oh,
to
it's
you,"
that's
it's-
you dying.
it's-
Like
you are dying.
and
Like
it's not.
seriously,
And nobody
it's
has
not-
to even kill you. Things are just going to happen.
Then you'll die.
And you will die. Like that's just the way it goes. Which is probably why I haven't seen anybody married in ReZero.
yeah, It's too much
There's
pressure.
nobody. No one is married in ReZero
Too much pressure.
except that Appa guy,
The
and he's
apple
not
guy,
even a real character, like a main character. So yeah, no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But so he gives out the contract, and that's where he says, you know, he can determine the price of the paper and this, that, and the third at the end. And we're all like, girl, why?
Why?
yeah, that's where you missed. That's where you missed.
Okay,
But-
him being able to determine the price of the paper didn't throw me as much, but it's that paper and the profits that you gonna get from this paper now, sir.
That threw me because, like I said, like I was saying when we watched it, that means that if he wants to go ahead now that he knows how to make paper,
Right.
figure out a way to get another company going
He
and
can do
charge whatever to get them out of business, he can do that.
He can
so
do
again,
it.
they're not really thinking long term. They are
No.
still children.
But I think the
But-
thing that she's thinking the most about
Is that
She wants
book.
those
is the
books.
books.
She
Because
wants
she
those
can,
books.
if she still is able to make paper,
Yeah, no, she'll
Yeah.
be fine.
She's
like, it don't
fine.
really
like,
make a
because then
difference.
she's, because I think that's her thing. Is,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
need
pretty sure we're
books.
going to see it, is that, fine, you can have the profits for the paper,
I need
but
the
you don't know
books.
how to do these books and you don't have the
Exactly.
stories.
Right.
Exactly. So either way
Like-
you go, you still gonna be losing. Like she'll still be able to make.
She'll be
a
able to
profit.
Like you
make
could
it.
you could open a thing and make your own paper, and I'll buy paper from you.
And also she's
Exactly.
And also she's 6, so
Yeah.
So,
look, sis, you did much better than
so they
typical
sign these
6-year-old.
magic contracts.
Any 6-year-old.
And as they're leaving, is the explanation of the devouring there?
It happened earlier in the episode, which before they
Oh,
ever
yeah.
signed the contracts, we get to see him talking to Otto, and
Oh
he's-
yeah,
and
saying what is that? He was asking, "What's that devouring?
Devouring,
Like, what are you
yeah.
talking about?"
Basically.
because she had spent 5 days with that fever. He's
Uh-huh.
like, she's more frail than I realized. For me, that was like a even more of a push for them to go ahead and sign this contract
Yeah, of course.
and get this done so I can make this
This money.
cheese.
Yeah,
But
and
he
so-
does explain it, like you said. He does explain that
Yep,
it's
which is-
probably because. Do you want to explain it
I do.
first? I'll go for it.
Thank you. It was amazing because basically it says is when a peasant has magic or mana, as they call it, they are not able to control it, and therefore it ends up devouring them.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they said that, I was like, huh.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't
She's
already know that she
essentially-
has magic, but she's like
She's OP. Like it's
she's
the
a
leaking
noble
of
in
the,
herself.
Of the magic,
Yeah, like it's literally, and I'm almost positive she has more magic than a noble. I'm sure.
No, that's the problem. He's saying like she's producing too much,
Yeah.
of
Too
it,
much.
and there's nothing to sap the excess of.
There are
and that's what causes
tools.
her to die.
Yeah.
There
He
are
did say that
tools.
too.
And so I'm wondering if that's what we saw with the crown when he put the crown on her at the very beginning of the series.
Whether or not that was a tool.
Whether that was a
I'm
tool
sure it's a
to
magic tool,
kind
but I
of
think that's more of a
temper some of that
Foreshadowing or something?
power.
because he was trying to figure out, or maybe it could be, and maybe it seemed like it was a flashback thing,
But it was.
it's more
I'm
from
trying to
that.
figure out. I'm trying to.
What's-
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know.
get that. I might like that.
We'll see.
That's a thing. So they signed the contract. He taught them how to do the order forms in terms of things that they would need. She made the order forms of how many nails and things they would need to get. And he's also commissioned them and given them an office on the outskirts of the town near the South Gate, I believe, which is closer to her home.
Well, that's what she
I think.
asked for. They don't know for sure that they're going to get the South Gate yet at this point.
Oh, because they're
That's
going to
what
send Wade.
They're,
name, I
no,
believe.
his name is Mr. Mark.
Mr. Mark?
Mhm.
Oh. So Mr. Mark is sent to go do these things. She's also in the middle of the meeting getting a little excited. And he's like, what are you doing?
Calm down.
Calm down now. Like, do you want to be in the bed for another 5 days? And she's like, So the whole time Lutz has been watching him.
The whole time because this
Because he
conversation.
doesn't say much of anything.
Anything.
Right. This conversation has been going over his head.
And he just looking at her like, what are you?
Yes.
What
Like,
language
why
are
didn't you
speaking?
just sign it? And, like, I don't know what's going on.
Mind you,
here.
she keeps doing little stuff too. I think through this episode, and we'll see in the next, like that just further emphasize the suspicion. Like bowing, she's kowtowing at one point when
and
she
it's
was
like,
apologizing.
what
it's
are
like,
you doing?
Yeah, and
they
that's
don't
not-
bow their heads here.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just need to say you're sorry. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Weirdo.
So they leave and they're walking home. And I think this is kind of the end
This
of this
is the end
episode.
of the
This is the end of
episode.
this first episode.
Oh.
So they're walking home. And Lutz is kind of walking in front of her. And he's walking a little fast. She's like, hey, what's going on? Where are you going? Like, is there something wrong? And he turns back. Wait, does he ask her?
No,
Yes,
yeah, he
He
says,
does, yeah.
are you really mine?
Yeah.
Like, are you mine? And she's
was
like, oh.
Crap.
yeah.
What do I
Oh.
do?
She tells him yes, and he's like,
No, she
does
doesn't.
not.
She does not. He
Well,
just
he
asked
says-
the question.
Are
and that's,
you really mine?
and then
that was the end of the
episode
episode.
ends. When he
Oh.
yeah, that's it.
And
That's
I
So
think
that
the
one-
last thing that
Yeah.
she said was like,
That was
from
the
that
la-
day. That was
he
the
never
last
called
time
me
he called
mine
again.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it. That was it.
which wasn't true, but it's fine.
It was kind of true.
kind of, but we'll talk.
Yeah.
Chapter 8. Chapter 8.
Lutz is Mine is the name of the episode. I love it.
I know that's so
'Cause
cute.
Are you mine?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that too.
When he said that, that was cute. Are you mine?
I sure am.
Okay.
Anyway,
I am, but I'm
Not-
Well, so at the beginning of the episode, she does say yeah. Because they don't have their deep conversation until they finish paper.
I don't know that she really. I can't remember if she legit affirmed it and said yes, or if she like deflected. And
I
said
think it
something
was
different.
I think it was like, why
Well, I
would you
think she's
ask
like,
me
well-
that?
Yeah, like it was
Like,
something more like that. I don't think
what's
she was just like yes,
wrong?
you know.
Well, no. I don't mean like that. I just mean she
She got out of it.
gives
Yeah.
him something, and
she
he
gets out of it.
kind of like,
he's still side eyeing.
Like, nah.
okay. But to her, when he started to act normal around me, and I
Not
figured that we
really.
were
In the
okay.
beginning, it was kind of frosty.
Well, he
and
doesn't.
And she was saying, I don't know. Is he mad at me?
Yeah.
Like, is he still mad at me? I don't know.
He's
And
still
she had
suspicious.
determined that from now on, she was only going to deal.
Oh yeah. So she
Because
said
he
she was only
like,
going
I'm
to
not
deal
going you
with.
today. He said, I'm not going.
Because that was the, and she was like, well, okay, cool.
That's actually a good
Well,
thing.
I'll go deal with Benno by
On my own.
myself.
Mhm.
She decides she only
And,
wants to do business with adults when
'cause
he's not
then
around.
'Cause
he
then
won't
he's
have to
not
worry about it.
suspicious.
Yeah.
So of course, she gets about halfway there, falls the hell out. Because
super excited.
There's nothing you can do. To which she gets fussed at by all of them.
Is that what I was gonna say? Did she get half? I feel like she got there.
No, she made it majority of the way there. She woke up at their house.
Oh yeah. That's
and
what it was. She woke up
then
at their house.
She said, "Hey, you will not come up here without him."
That's what Benno told.
Yeah.
You,
He
you
went off on
cannot.
her.
If the boy is not here, you don't
can't
come.
You can't come.
So her entire plan is shot.
She says, "Damn." She
Yeah, she get home, her mama going off on her.
Daddy goes on.
Everybody
everybody
going
goes off. So she was, of course, bedridden, I think, for another 3 days. So finally, they get to their office that they were granted. It is by the South Gate.
Yeah.
And
Mr.
it's
Mark
a
gives
little-
him that key.
Gives them the
When
key.
they were talking about warehouse, I thought it was gonna be like, but it's like
a little cottage,
Yeah.
little shed. Or,
Yeah,
I
but
mean, it's
a nice little,
it's a nice
little workhouse.
nice
And I mean,
workhouse.
she's you see her making deals with people in this episode too. She's making deals with.
Well, that's what we're getting to.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I thought we was getting straight to the workshop business.
Because when they got there and when they got in there, they needed to figure out getting the rest of their materials.
Right.
So they set in a lot of orders and they were kind of trying to figure out, because she says he starts to act a little bit more normal.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're getting all the materials and things together and they're trying to figure out different woods and how to do some of the bamboo stuff.
Right.
yeah.
And so they go out now to talk to, he's like, well, I know a couple people or the vendors because we need to go and make these orders anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they go and talk to the wood guy and he's like, well, I can do this part for you. You just need this. Well, this part I can't do. You need to talk to a craftsman. Then they go and they talk to a craftsman who can do the bamboo shoots for them. He's like, oh, do you want them to be wavy?
And at every vendor they meet, Lutz
has a
is
look.
side
eyeing
eyeing
like
her
mad.
as she is negotiating
Yeah.
and figuring things out. He is like,
Who
What
are you,
is
fam?
going
Like,
on?
where did you come from, you alien?
So they get back after they've gotten everything that they're going to need to be able to make this new paper. Wait, does the drum bang?
I think they go into the forest. Yeah.
They-
Okay, so they go into the
have
forest.
first.
yeah, he has all that heavy stuff. He drops it off. Then they go
Okay,
That's
into
what
the
they try
forest.
to start trying to make the paper.
Yes,
like
yes,
once they
yes.
actually get
Okay.
everything. So now they're out there.
So they get, they're steaming. They get to the forest. She picks up this red, I'm kind of think of like a fruit, kind of like a dragon fruit looking
That's what it looks
thing.
like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's open at the top and she picks it up. She's like, hot. And she throws it and it like hits the ground and starts like growing a wild tree. Like vine,
with-
like
yeah.
branches
Vines.
start
Yeah.
popping up and
On
it's like,
some
whoa.
Jumanji stuff, man, for real.
Yeah.
It's out of
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
So the brothers of Lutz, I don't remember
Lutz
their
and them
name.
boys.
Lutz and the boys.
Lutz and the guy.
Until they become more prominent characters, I'm not even
The
trying to
boys.
remember their names. The boys that broke the clay tablets that time. She yells for Lutz. Lutz then yells for them. They come in. They're cutting the tree down.
He
really
tells her to
quickly.
run away.
Yeah.
And you know she's frail. Bless
So
her.
she
she
makes it-
runs as best she
She
can.
really
which
gets
is
like about a
not-
foot away.
Yeah, not far at all.
I mean,
And,
it's
like
far
trips and
enough.
falls.
Sheesh,
and
y'all.
they're cutting the stuff down. And they finally get it cut down. And she was like, what is that? And he was like, well, it's a trombone. And it's pretty much like a magic tree that just
a magic weed.
Yes.
yes, a magic
Because
weed,
it
yeah.
kills
It will kill,
all the other
devour the
plants.
entire forest.
And grows
and it
like-
grows
yeah.
rapidly.
And grows
But
like
he
a large
also
tree.
says
Yes.
it's never grown that fast before. I've never seen it grow
And
that
there
fast
shouldn't
before.
be any
There shouldn't be,
seeds
yeah.
here, so I don't know how that happened. Did
Yeah.
you see
Or in this
anything?
season.
Yes,
Yeah, in
it's
the
not
season.
the
Yeah.
season. So part of me makes me feel like her magic is
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, totally.
tingly,
That's what I feel
tingly.
like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she held it for a little while
She
before
did.
it
Because
got
that
hot.
could be a thing that they wait for a certain season of magic or something like that, where the magic in the world is higher or something. I
I
don't
mean, they got bells for time. Who knows?
know. So
They
they
definitely
also have bells for time.
You're
I did
right.
explain that. And they were like, no, I'm sure it's like fourth period for the kids that work and don't go to
Touch your
school.
faces.
No, you were right.
Thank you. It happens sometimes.
Sometimes.
So immediately, not like 2 seconds after, not like a minute, a day after, mine is like, why don't we try to use this to make paper?
Yeah, because it's perfect. It's,
It
it's-
is.
You
It's-
cut it. It was a baby. It's a baby tree. It's soft.
Yeah,
And it's
no,
like,
Let's use it.
So they cook it and they're able to get their paper and they're able to get the things that they need to get closer to the prototypes of the paper. They get back. Here's where it gets real.
Now at this point the paper is drying.
Yeah.
The prototypes are drying.
They're drying the prototype. Well, no, they're doing the
prototypes are
before then what she was doing. No, because it was the pushing of the prototypes. Because then she's talking, and she says, "Oh, well, I've done this part before."
Oh, you're talking. That was earlier.
Yeah, and it was after. That's why I was like, it was after they got all the stuff together, like right before they get the prototypes. And he goes, "You've done this before?"
Because she was explaining what she was doing in the process,
the steps of making.
And she's like, kinda. Maybe, yeah.
She can't say she read about it.
At another time, he's like, So they keep going, and she says it like 2 or 3 more times. And so at that point, he's like, okay, I want to talk, but we'll talk when we finish making the prototypes of this paper.
Correct.
And so it's like, she's like, I don't want to do this. But, it's mine. She wants to get back to the paper. She's like, well, it'll all get back to normal or whatever. So they finished their paper. They got their prototypes up. And it's time to have the talk. He says to her, well, I told you that I would want to have this talk when we finish the paper. I have a question for you.
Ooh, can we talk to, I put this in my notes. When they were out in the forest and they needed to steam the trombe and stuff, she forgot to have sticks. To stir the pot.
That's right. That was another thing that happened. Yeah. She was like, just make me these 2 sticks like this.
And so she's holding these
chopsticks.
He's essentially, and he's like, fascinating. Why are you holding them like that? Like,
I didn't know you could stir that way.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Like that one to me was funny. Just in a sense,
so funny.
Because I was just like,
I
don't know that would be something. Like I'd more so be like, well, what are you doing? Maybe.
Probably
I'd
no.
be like, why are you holding it like that? Don't nobody over here hold it that way
at all.
That's weird.
Like if all we used was forks and
big huge spoons, why are you using them 2 sticks and holding them like that?
And you're holding them so well, like she was
saying.
maneuvering like an expert. Yeah. Like why? How?
The fact that they do that is one of the things that always makes me be like, like they be making cakes and stuff.
Yeah, I don't get
with chopsticks.
They're amazing.
And see, that's what I'm saying. So that's why Lutz is like, wait a minute.
Okay, I get it. I see it.
No sense.
That was more normal to me, just because it's like I don't know what you're doing.
You have seen no one in their world do this. So
until you said that's what clicked.
He is like, bro.
Yeah, no, that's
my friend. Do you know what kind of fine motor skills you have to be able to do something like that? Like
you're making paper too. You're not making a cake. You know what I'm saying? You're not scrambling an egg. You're making paper.
Like it's crazy. They do everything with that. Okay. Like I don't know. It's just like put them together. How?
I don't get it. But anyway. So here we are. They're having the conversation.
He looks to her and he says, "So, are you really my mind?"
And you can see the thought bubbles in her head. Like
she was like,
how do I do this?
Well, I'm not going to lie. Because he saved my life. Mm-hmm. It's time to be honest.
Yep.
No. I'm not the mind that you knew. He's like, well, okay. How long? He's
not calm.
Well, I'm calm because he's pretty distracted.
He's
like
screaming at her.
Not yet. He starts to build up because he asks the second question of,
what did you do?
Well, how long
he wants
have you been? He gets there, but he asks her how long has it been, and she says, a year. Well, she sits for a second, and then he looks. He was like, well, was it when you
she was like,
started doing that with your
when
hair?
When do you think it was? That's what it was.
Yeah.
And he was like, was it when you started? No, she's right, though. Yeah. He did start yelling at her before he even got there.
Yeah.
Because he was like, what did you do with her?
He was like, where is she? If you're not,
and that's when he started to, she's gone.
Well, at that point when she started yelling, it seemed like, I thought, like, because he asked the first questions, he starts to get frustrated where it's like, okay, well, it doesn't seem like this was some sort of malicious anything, but that's frustrating me more because like, where is she? Like, how can I get her back? And she was like,
all of that happened before. He
okay, so he's yelling and
Yeah.
asking her, well, how can we get her back? You know, how long has it been this way? And da 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 da. And finally, she just says, well, if you want me to go, I'll go.
Yeah, but I don't, because what he says is, I want you to bring her back. She says, okay, but I probably need to do this at home. And he's like, well, why do we need to wait to go there? She says, because I think there's going to be a corpse here when I get through.
And at this point, that's when he starts getting more frustrated. What do you mean? It's like, well, she's essentially explaining that I believe that the mind you knew died.
Right.
And he said, was it because of the fevers that increase and decrease? And she says, I think, yes, I think
well,
partially.
he thought maybe she
was the cause of those
cause of
and she was like, no, because I still have the fevers, and it's probably going to eat me and do the same thing to me.
And she also says, if I could pick anybody, I would want anybody to go into. Why would I pick a frail body?
Yeah, like why would I choose this one? This was definitely not on me.
Yeah.
And then she gets to the point, the best part of the episode, where she basically tells him, like, look, the only reason I'm even still here and able to do any of this is because of you. And if you don't want me here, if you don't want me, if I'm not your mind and you just don't want it, I'll do whatever. Because when I gave up on everything, when I had my fever and I just wanted to give up. When mom had destroyed all of my things, I was going to fade away and I was going to be okay with that. But I thought about the promise I made to you and I wasn't going to leave.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to at least finish our promise. And since I finished our promise, if this is
is
what you want,
that's fine with me.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, she's like, I fulfilled my promise of getting you to Otto.
You got the paper. You got a deal. You're going to be his apprentice.
You are good. So
yeah.
I will leave. And then Lex is like, that's not my decision to make.
You know, I'll leave it up to the family.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to your family. Like, so that's interesting.
Like whenever they.
And she was like, are you sure? He was like, and that was my favorite part. And I'm sure that was your favorite part as well. When he was like, well, if you've been her for the last year, you want to finish that?
I don't remember.
If you've been her for the last year, then all of my memories with mine are really with you.
Yeah, which was so sweet.
And it was like, oh.
It was a
she
sweet
is your
moment.
mine.
That's why.
Which was also weird to me at that point.
That's why he can't remember, because he was not,
like,
it didn't touch him in the feels.
It doesn't really make sense.
It got me in the feels. Yeah. Like,
no, it got me in the feels. I just literally forgot
amazing.
that part because I was thinking about everything that happened like right before was more impactful to me because it was just like, but dude, like I'm looking more at him like I feel like his frustrations were more about, well, I just don't understand. And it seems like the moments that I enjoyed, he was more frustrated with himself about not noticing, I felt.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
yeah,
it felt like it was more like because with his response, like y'all said, it was about like, well, we didn't really start hanging out till you got here anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
And to him, it was like, man, something is weird about us hanging out. And I feel like he was also conflicted by how much she started to change, because initially, oh, I'll go and get you this stuff because it felt like kid stuff, versus like when the stuff that she's getting him, it's not just like some pipe dream, it's not just some kiddie dream kind of thing. Wait, what? We got a plan. Like, this ain't just for toys, this ain't just for a bigger apprenticeship. Like, why does she seem to know more about the world than me? It's like, as a man, even as a young man, I think he just felt like we are way too different, right. And I don't understand what's going
same
on.
Age,
right,
from the same town with the same
what's
type of
going
parents.
on. So it's like a slight inferiority complex kind of thing.
Same apartment complex.
Yeah, bro.
And girl,
this rundown, rinky dink, low end of town. You know, apartment complex.
Yeah. So that's why, because at that point I'm like, I kind of just want you to stop, chill out, bro. Like, I get it, but I also kind of feel like again, this really ain't as much about her as it is about you feeling like you should have known something that there was no way you could have known.
None whatsoever.
Because like you said, y'all didn't start hanging out until then. Because what's funny about that, because that would have been when they started going to school, or going to, not school, but wherever they were going.
Yeah.
And he had to carry her. So that was their first little thing. Like, okay, this is like what you do when people have had this. As far as I know, I mean, I don't think they knew a lot of people that have the devouring or whatever. But
No, I don't think none of them know who the devourer.
So, to end the episode, though, they go back to talk to Benno. And, they finished all of these different types of paper for a year. They have 3 different types.
4. No, I think they had like 6. They had 3 on one side and 3 on the other side.
So they have 6. So they had the most expensive to the least expensive in terms of quality. And she's telling him, well, this one will do for this. And he takes it and Benno writes on it. It's like, well, it blots a little bit, but, it's not really a problem.
Right.
And the last one is like, this is really amazing quality. What did you make this one out of? A trombe.
And I think we should start mass producing the trombe paper.
Right.
And what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Both of them go off on her.
Benno and Lutz lose their minds. Like, are you crazy?
That don't make no sense. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Crazy person.
Like,
where would we even grow this? Like, that doesn't make sense.
I believe she's gonna get her trombe.
I do too.
Mass production going.
God, I hope not.
I think she is.
I think she is.
I promise. I think.
I don't know how she's gonna do
got
that without
magic.
killing everything.
She's probably. I think she's gonna figure out like a way to just like feed her magic to them to where they get enough of what they need. They grow.
Oh, and you know what? That actually would be really great because that would be her item, and that way she could keep living.
Probably.
Because if she's giving, if it's eating up, her excess mana. Then
if I got that right, guys, just come back to this episode and tell me I was right.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Get him a cookie.
Not y'all. I don't care nothing about
he's
whatever y'all do. I'm talking
audience.
about the people.
Yeah.
They actually appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. If you would like to get in touch with us.
I can also say my words of do your thing.
You big boy.
Thank you.
If you would like to get in touch with us, you are welcome to get at us on Twitter at, what is this again? Oh, yeah, Gray Area Anime 1. You can also get at us on Instagram and Facebook at Gray Area Anime, and you can email us at grayareaanime@gmail.com. Madam?
You can find me at BibleStudyGirl.com, where I write a blog daily about my faith journey. Faith, Faith, not fake. You can also follow me on Facebook, Bible Study Girl, Instagram _Bible Study Girl, and on Twitter, Bible Study Girl 2, or email me at BibleStudyGirl2019@gmail.com.
All right. We thank you guys for joining us for another episode, and we cannot wait to see you again. So come back, a 1 and a 2 and a peace.